call to order the public meeting, Joliet Junior College, Wednesday, May 12th, 2021. Joan, would you call the roll, please?
Broderick,
Present.
Budzinski,
Here.
Garcia Guillen, Lee,
Here.
Lazaro,
Here.
Mahalik,
Present.
Morales,
Here.
and O'Connell.
Here. And we're appointing Trustee Jake Mahalik as Secretary Pro Tem. Nancy can't be here today. And I'd like to welcome everybody who, well, it seems like there's not very many of us here, but there's a few out there in TV land. So I'd like to welcome them too.
Joe.
And we'll do the Pledge of Allegiance. Maureen, you'd like to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. So now we're going to go into closed session and to begin with. And we'll be coming back after that and have the rest of our meeting when we return to public session. So all in favor of going to closed session?
Aye.
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 For 2C1, Mr. Chairman?
2C1, yes. All right, that's carried. We're going to go into closed session.
Didn't we need a motion and a second to go in?
May I make a motion to go into executive session?
I'll second it.
John, you can go through the roll if you want to, but we've already done that. So go ahead. All right. Okay. We're going to go back into regular session. You have a motion to do so?
Motion?
Second.
Joan, please.
Mahalik,
Yes.
Morales.
Yes.
Broderick,
Oh, aye. But you said
Budzinski,
Morales. I'm
Yes.
like, okay.
Lee,
Here.
Lozano,
Yes.
and O'Connell.
Yes. All right. So we have one public comment that's been made tonight. And I'm going to read that as soon as I find it. Well, we'll come back to the public comments. As soon as I find it, I'll read the public comment. And I found it. So that's what we're going to do. Read the public comment.
Sounds good.
This is from Melissa SZYMCZAK from New Lenox to the Joliet Junior College Board of Trustees. Dear sirs and madams, as our community continues to recover from the devastating effects of the COVID pandemic, I would like to ask for your attention to the essential support of child care and early education workforce provides to thousands of working families and employers. Across the United States, we are seeing an uneven return to employment between females and males, and many researchers are concluding this disparity is due to the increased burden on mothers with children who are not in school or child care settings. The decisions families have made with these options that have presented over the past year are complicated. However, in order for families to re-enter the workforce or upskill, retrain for a new career, there must be quality, safe care available for their children. Unfortunately, many are finding that due to the critical early childhood teacher shortage, child care programs cannot enroll them because they do not have teachers for their empty classrooms. As a resident of JJC District, I am respectfully requesting the appreciation that a well-prepared early care and education educators are vital to our economy and citizens. At the same time that we are relying on childcare and public schools to fully reopen for our economic recovery, the Illinois Board of Higher Education draft strategic plan from April 23rd, 21 explicitly explains that we are in the midst of a profound teacher shortage. The urgency of addressing the education shortage cannot be overstated. Of particular importance and opportunity is the need to help the incumbent early childhood workforce upskill to the associate and bachelor's degrees required to best serve our earliest learners. With various packages of federal funding available for the next few years, specifically for early childhood, we have a tremendous opportunity to transform the skills and credentials of the early childhood workforce. Work on this should begin immediately. The IBHE strategic plan devotes a full 2 pages to outline the depth of the education shortage, including the need for more diversity in our classrooms. No other career or sector of the workforce is given such specific and significant attention by this plan. Not medical, health, careers, STEM, etc. This call to action is echoing the bipartisan awareness of early care and education in Illinois and at the federal level. In order for all children to be ready for school, we must have options where their families could choose a preschool, childcare, or public school, pre-kindergarten that has qualified, prepared, and skilled teachers. I am the mother of 2 young men who benefited from such high-quality early childhood experience. They have thrived during their K-12 public school years and have grown into well-adjusted, curious, empathetic, responsible citizens. I have devoted my entire career so that all children might have early childhood teachers who are well-prepared and effective in their role as child care professionals or public school educators. Learning the craft of teaching cannot be accomplished by books, lectures, and video observations alone. It takes mentoring, field experience, guided reflection, teaching and demonstrations, etc. It takes a gradual continuum of preparation where the future teachers can develop the methods, skills, and dispositions for a long and successful career. It takes an all-hands-on-deck approach across our community with JJC staff, faculty, students, employers, and social service agencies, and high schools all committed to addressing the critical need for qualified early childhood teachers who have skills to remain in the field long-term. It will not rectify the teacher shortage to put unprepared teachers into early childhood classrooms, and it will not help our children reach that potential. As stated in the IBHE strategic plan, it is time for a great potential and opportunity for the early childhood workforce. JJC is already leading the way with grant-funded child care teacher cohorts, HS dual credit, that's high school, transfer agreements to a BS, ECE, and an on-campus ECC lab, an ESL/GED bridge cohort, and other student services. On behalf of the early care and education teachers in our district, both present and future, I sincerely thank you for your commitment and support. Respectfully, Melissa Zimzak. I'm going to Zimzak? Zeplak. Okay. Zimchek. All right, that sounds better. Thank you.
It's funny, that same thing came up last night on the news about why and what's going on with unemployment and why unemployment is still so high. It's because of childcare and mothers still having to stay at home because they don't have childcare because of the children being remote learning still.
Exactly. All right. Well, that's public comments. Business reports as needed. 13 is moment of silence. And we do have, we ask for a moment of silence. Well, one for our president's mother. And we have 2 other people. You have it? Thanks. Carla Gruca is mother of Dr. Judy Mitchell. Victoria Cavallo, sister of James Budzinski, trustee. Chris Beluga Luttrell, father of Chris Luttrell, campus police.
I'd like to add two more. Marty Ozinga, the father of Tim Ozinga, our state rep, and Nancy Weigel, who just passed, our Will County Representative Tom Weigel's wife.
All right. Thank you. Recognition of special guests. Do we have any special guests here? Besides everybody here? Have anybody extremely
We have
special?
our former student.
Our former student trustee, Ian.
Former,
Johnson.
Ian, nice to see you.
Always welcome.
I drove past your house the other day. All right, selected reports. Here we have a list of retirees and other selected reports. Some of these people are here and some not. Retiree Bev Kavanaugh is, as I understand, is not present with us tonight.
Correct.
We'd ask for recognition of retiree Phil Spencer. And who did I give that to read? Jim, would you read that resolution?
Resolution, whereas Philip Spencer has been a loyal and dedicated employee of Joliet Junior College from August 2001 to May 2021 for 20 years of service as a professor in the Fine Arts Department. And whereas throughout his years of service, Philip Spencer has demonstrated admirable support for the ideals of education as well as for the institution of Joliet Junior College and the people whom the college serves. And whereas the service performed throughout his years at Joliet Junior College has always been of the highest standard of professionalism, quality, and excellence. And whereas Phil Spencer is retiring with the proud distinction of Professor Emeritus, and now therefore be it resolved that the Board of Trustees of Illinois Community College District Number 525, Joliet Junior College, counties of Will, Grundy, Kendall, LaSalle, Kankakee, Livingston, and Cook, State of Illinois, does hereby recognize and commend Philip Spencer for his distinguished service, as well as his diligence, perseverance, and loyalty in executing those duties as herein stated. Adopted this 12th day of May, 2021.
So moved.
Second.
Joan, call the roll, please.
Roderick,
Aye.
Budzinski,
Aye.
Garcia Guillen. John,
No, she's not here.
She's sick.
sorry, I just saw NG on there. Lee, Lozano,
Yes.
Mahalik,
Yes.
Morales,
Yes.
and O'Connell.
Yes. We also have for a resolution, recognition of retiree Mike Brinsick.
Lost my earring. Okay, thank you. Whereas Michael Burnsick has been a loyal and dedicated employee of Joliet Junior College from February 7th to May 2020, February 2007 to May 2021 for 14 years of service as the technical department, starting as an adjunct instructor and retiring as professor. And whereas throughout his years of service, Michael Burnsick has demonstrated admirable support for the ideals of education as well as for the institution of Joliet Junior College and the people whom the college serves. And whereas the service performed throughout his years at Joliet Junior College has always been of the highest standard of professionalism, quality, and excellence, and now therefore be it resolved that the Board of Trustees of Illinois Community College District Number 525, Joliet Junior College, counties of Will, Grundy, Kendall, LaSalle, Kankakee, Livingston, and Cook, State of Illinois does hereby recognize and commend Michael Burnsick for his distinguished service as well as for his diligence, perseverance, and loyalty in executing those duties as herein stated, adopted this 12th day of May 2021.
So moved.
Congratulations.
Second.
Did you want to know?
Joan, call the roll, please.
Oh, we. 1 second.
I believe there is a student on the call that wanted to make a brief comment about Mr. Michael Burnsick, and the student is Angelo Lufano. Are you on the call, Angelo?
He's not? Oh, I wonder if he,
I think it's Trifano, but that shouldn't make any difference.
right. We'll have to
Trifano, Angelo Trifano, are you on the call?
Probably left.
He may have left if it ended early, but we'll make sure that we get his comments to Professor Burnsick.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Joan,
One other
call the
person
roll.
I know is here is,
We gotta call the
Mr.
roll on
Chairman,
that
shall I
one.
do the roll call, please?
yes, we haven't called the roll on that yet.
Broderick,
Aye.
Budzinski,
Aye.
Garcia Guillen. Jake, why is NG up there?
Is she on?
Oh, okay.
No.
Lee, Lozano,
Yes.
Mahalik,
Yes.
Morales,
Yes.
and O'Connell.
Yes.
Thank you, Jim.
I also understand that retiree Susan Kraus is here with us virtually. Jake, I think you have that.
I have Susan.
You have that resolution?
I have Susan Kraus.
All right.
Susan, are you on? She left. Do you want me to still read if she's
Go
not
ahead.
here?
We'll go ahead and read it in her honor.
Okay. Whereas Susan Kraus has been a loyal and dedicated employee at Joliet Junior College from August 2002 to May 2021 for 19 years of service as a professor in the Social and Behavioral Science Department. And whereas through her years of service, Susan Kraus has demonstrated admirable support for the ideals of education as well as for the institution of Joliet Junior College and the people whom the college serves. And whereas the service performed throughout her years at Joliet Junior College has always been of the highest standard of professionalism, quality, and excellence. And now therefore be it resolved that the Board of Trustees of Illinois Community College District 525, Joliet Junior College, counties of Will, Grundy, Kendall, LaSalle, Kankakee, Livingston, and Cook, State of Illinois, does hereby recognize and commend Susan Kraus for her distinguished service, as well as for her diligence, perseverance, and loyalty in executing those duties as herein stated, now adopted this 12th day of May 2021.
So moved.
Second.
Joan, call the roll.
Mahalik,
Yes.
Morales,
Yes.
Broderick,
Aye.
Budzinski,
Yes.
Lee, Lozano,
Yes.
and O'Connell.
Yes. I'll also mention the other retirees' names. Besides Bev Kavanaugh, there's Grover Alexander, Stephen Buck, James Coleman, Charlotte Garabrandt, Mary Magruder, Michael Sullivan, Oksana Alfredson, and Linda Thompson. And I ask those resolutions be passed for each of them.
So moved.
Do the motion? Yes.
Second.
Joan, call the roll, please.
Morales,
Yes.
Broderick,
Aye.
Budzinski,
Yes.
Lee, Lozano,
Yes.
Mahalik,
Yes.
and O'Connell.
Yes. We at 1.413, the Juneteenth Proclamation.
There were some of the retirees that made a note in the chat, so I wasn't sure if we wanted to There's Phil Spencer, he was the first one. Um, Thank you for the invitation, unfortunately had to leave. Here are my remarks. Thank you for this opportunity. I'm so fortunate to have worked at JJC for the past 20 years and to have had full-time employment in music for the past 43 years. In my time at JJC, I have taught approximately 6,000 music lessons, led 2,000 choir rehearsals, taught 2,500 classes, and performed in approximately 300 concerts. I have involved local high school, church, and children's choirs as often as possible in my concerts to introduce them to our students in our campus. But just as significant and memorable for me are all of the service and learning activities with my students outside of the classroom, serving as JJC's coordinator of JJC's excellent free Musica Viva concert series for the last 6 years, founding the Bridges of Song Vocal Festival at JJC in 2019, our numerous choral performances for civic organizations, in the Joliet area, areas such as Rotary International, Morning Star Mission, and the Joliet Country Club, at senior living centers such as Rock Run Place and Sunny Hill, holiday caroling at Macy's each year, the extra performances on campus for Veterans Day and 9/11 ceremonies, the high school counselors breakfast, and the foster families holiday party, our 5 choir performance trips to sing at Carnegie Hall in New York City, and the Kennedy Center in Washington, D.C., and even the field trips with my world music students each semester to hear mariachi at La Mex and to see and hear the 4th largest musical instrument in the world, the Naperville Carillon. These opportunities really put the community into a community college for me. So in the words of the 2008 hit from the Illinois punk rock band Fall Out Boy, thanks for the memories, and thank you, Board of Trustees and members, for your support of music and the arts of JJC. Okay, hold on. Sue Kraus, thank you for the invitation, but I need to leave. I enjoyed my time at JJC, especially all of the people. I will miss you all. Mike Brimsick, thank you for the invitation, to speak at the board meetings. My wife had some surgery and I need to get back to my caregiver duties. It took a few things for the OPT program to get where we are now. One is the vision and the other is support. Vision, with regard to vision, I would like to thank this board for your vision and leadership in making the decision to establish an orthotic prosthetics technology program at Joliet Junior College. We are one of 5 allied health programs in the entire country teaching students to become technicians in the field of orthotics and prosthetics. And I thank you all for making it possible. Support, there were 2 forms of support, financial support and support from personnel within the college. Without financial support, the OPT program would not have been possible. I would like to thank Arthur G. and Vera C. Smith Foundation for their help and generosity in providing the initial funding needed for the OPT program. Christy Mulvey was instrumental in making that happen. Thank you, Christy. Support from the people within the college. I initially began working with a person named Judy Mitchell in 2006 and 2007. Mike, you're awesome. She was director of purchasing. She was incredibly organized and professional in her approach to her job. Without her expertise, it would have been a much more complicated task, but she made it manageable for me. It is no surprise to me that she is now the president of the college. Thank you, President Mitchell. There was incredible cooperation within the technical department. John Kepke, a past faculty member, gave up his classroom in order for the OPT labs to be consolidated and located in one area within the technical building. Maria Rafek and Laura Kottner were instrumental in guiding me through curriculum development and the student advising work that needed to be done. Finally, I would like to thank our department chair, Jeff Bradford, and our dean, Patty Zuccarello, for their continued support of the program. I have truly enjoyed my time here at JJC. Thank you all.
Can I personally thank one of the retirees is Linda Thompson. I was working in financial aid when she joined us, and I know Linda has been passionately serving our veteran students and really stepping up when we needed interim directors of financial aid. And I know it's been over 25 years that Linda has been part of JJC and the financial aid office and helping students with the grant and loan process. And I want to personally congratulate Linda Thompson on her well-earned retirement, because I know this woman works tirelessly for the students, for JJC, and I'm so happy that I had an opportunity to work with Linda Thompson, and I'd like to say that I can honestly call her my friend. So thank you, Linda, and congratulations on your well-earned retirement.
All right, so now we'll get to 1.413, the Juneteenth Proclamation.
I would like to invite Dr. Eskertina Irvin. She's virtual and she will read the proclamation for this evening.
Thank you, Dr. Mitchell. Whereas Juneteenth is the oldest nationally celebrated commemoration of the ending of slavery in the United States, and whereas on June 14th, 1865, Union soldiers led by Major General Gordon Gregor landed in Galveston, Texas, with news that the war had ended and that the remaining enslaved Blacks in Texas were now free nearly 2.5 years after the Emancipation Proclamation and 2 months at the end of the Civil War. And whereas with those words, our country changed, and we have continued to change, striving always to make it right and to make it better for all. And whereas while these words created a legal means to continue the fight of equality, equality remained a distant reality. And whereas the observation of Juneteenth is about the journey of Black Americans from a heroic period of enslavement to blessed freedom, and whereas today we celebrate incremental progress with this resolution, recognizing and celebrating the moment when emancipation reached the last enslaved part of the Confederation of Texas. And whereas Juneteenth celebrates pride, resilience, and determination that will always be of historical and spiritual significance, and whereas we look back on over 150 years of progress, we honor those who have come before us. We remember those who lost their lives, and we remember those who collectively paved the road to freedom. And whereas we pay tribute to this journey and we acknowledge the many roles and contributions of the Black spirit to our society, and whereas we embrace the past and we embrace the future, something that only occurs with unity and respect. And whereas Joliet Junior College celebrates Juneteenth and celebrates the freedom of our Black brothers and sisters. Signed this 12th day of May, 2021. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Irvin.
Thank you.
Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Joan, please.
Morales,
Yes.
Broderick, Budzinski,
Yes.
Lee, Lozano,
Yes.
Mahalik,
Yes.
and O'Connell.
Yes. Right. Looks like we have the virtual union report from Dr. Marsink.
Yes, you do.
Sir.
Thank you. First, a couple of quick things. I hope everybody can hear me fine. Congratulations, Chairman O'Connell, on your election, and good luck in the as in your role as chair. And obviously, we're going to continue to work with you and the rest of the board for years to come. Also want to, although I did say this a couple of meetings ago, to welcome Jim Budzinski and Michelle Lee, the new trustees to the board. I know I've spoken to Jim and haven't spoken to Michelle at any point, but I do want to welcome you to the board. We're always open to discussing whatever needs to be discussed as a faculty, and we look forward to working with you over the coming years. The other last thing I just want to touch on one thing. We mentioned all of these retirees, and first I want to correct two names, and this is nobody's fault. Grover Alexander goes by Grant. He's always gone by Grant, so I want to correct that for everybody. And also, James Coleman. Actually, most people assume it's James because his name is Jim. Actually, his birth certificate name is Jimmy, so it's actually Jim Coleman. So I just wanted to make those simple corrections. I think they'll enjoy that. And I also want to say something about briefly about all of these faculty. I'm glad that you had some comments from some. I was actually I saw Mike Burnsick's. I was going to read them for you if you hadn't seen them, but I'm glad they were already read. First of all, one thing, we're gonna miss these folks. We have well over 200 years, I believe, of service here, and these are some of the finest faculty members we have on campus. Grant, an amazing math teacher. Phil Spencer, a wonderful music teacher. Mike Burnsick, as you know, started his program here. And what I would recommend that everybody take a look at the student newspaper that came out last week. There was a very nice article about Mike that I learned some things about that I wasn't even aware of. Stephen Buck, all students I've ever met who have had him sing his praises. I don't know Steve as well as I would like, but he has just touched a lot of students' lives. Jim Coleman, a fantastic automotive instructor, was formerly the vice president of the faculty union, a great advocate for students in his program, and he will be missed, although I hope he's not gone altogether. Shar Garabrandt, a fantastic health and public services instructor. People who know Shar know that if you need something done, you give Shar a call. She is amazing. I love that woman. Sue Kraus served as chair of the social and behavioral sciences. You read some comments from her. Longtime excellent faculty member. Mary Magruder was also a chair of nursing for a short period of time, and the chair position is not an easy position, and she took it on at a time when it was most difficult and did the work, and has been a great nursing instructor. Mike Sullivan from math. A lot of people, you may not know, Mike has his own textbook, and he has been not only a longtime faculty, he was really an innovator in a lot of ways. Before the internet really became popular, he was doing video instruction and stuff like that, so which was the precursor to what we do now. And Oksana Alfredson, of Fine Arts, another fantastic instructor and really nice lady. And I will say the one thing I really like about this list of people is that there's a real mix of our career technical people and our transfer people. And I think they really, really illustrate the mission of this institution in a large way. We not only are preparing people for careers, but we're preparing people to move on and get their 4-year degrees and do the kinds of things that we all want our kids to be able to do. So this is a wonderful list of people that really show that in a really fantastic way. And what, frankly, when I look at this, I say, oh my, that is a loss of a lot of not only great faculty, but people of great character. So we will obviously work our best to replace them with people of equal skill, etc. But we will miss these folks, and I personally will miss them. And the last thing I will say is that this is, as everybody knows, I was going to say I would have been there in person today, but we had a meeting prior to this with our union, and I didn't think I would be able to get there on time. I guess I was wrong about that, right? But I would have gotten there on time. But the last thing I want to say is that this has been a really incredibly difficult year for everybody. Hopefully we never have to live through another year like this. And not only from the administration down through the staff, through the faculty, through everybody. This has just been a year where we've all pulled together. We've all tried to do our best. We've all improvised where we had to improvise. And I think we've gotten through it in pretty good shape. Obviously, we're always looking for improvement going forward. But I want to thank everybody who worked this year for Joliet Junior College. This is the last meeting of the school year. I want to thank everybody for all the work they've done and the board for being there to support us. So that's all I have for you this evening. I know it's a little longer than you would have hoped, but hopefully it was worthwhile. So thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Marsing. .415, Ms. Laurel Diesco.
Hello.
It's always kind of hard for a scientist to follow a journalist. I tend to be a little more concise. I have much of the same things to say. I'm here tonight to thank the returning board members and Chair O'Connell for your continued service. I know it's very time consuming and it takes a lot of effort. I want to welcome the new board members and look forward to working with all of you going forward. And as far as ending the school year, we have finals next week, which you know. This has been such an incredible challenge for all of us. I never thought at this point in my career that I would be reinventing totally how I teach. And, I thought I kind of had it down. And then this came and I realized I didn't have it down. And we all made those kinds of adjustments in whatever our roles happen to be. And I think we've done a pretty good job. We've gotten through it and we're looking forward to things getting better. And so I'm hopeful for the summer and the fall that we'll just kind of keep on that curve and keep improving. We started, as far as the union is concerned, we started contract negotiations. We're working on that and I'm optimistic that we'll get through that hopefully this summer and be back before the board with some kind of agreement not too distant future. So thank you for the opportunity to be here. I appreciate it. Good night.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so 1.51, we're looking for a motion for the approval of minutes for the regular monthly meeting, April 14th, 2021.
So moved. Second.
Joan, call the roll, please.
Mahalik,
Yes.
Morales,
Yes.
Broderick,
Aye.
Budzinski,
Yes.
Lee, Lozano,
Yes.
and O'Connell.
Yes. Joan, do we have any communications?
No further communications, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. 1.7, approval of the agenda.
So moved.
Joan, call the roll, please.
Mahalik,
Yes.
Broderick,
Aye.
Budzinski,
Yes.
Lee, Lozano,
Yes.
Mahalik,
Yes.
and O'Connell.
Yes.
Forgot Morales. Yes.
Oh, well, I
called
got
Mahalik
it. Okay. Morales. All right.
Jake just got 2 votes. 1.8, consent agenda. Do we have a motion?
Motion.
And a second? Joel, call the roll. Joan,
As a discussion, I'd like to have items 4.5 and 8.1 pulled.
all right. Joan, call the roll, please.
Mahalik,
Yes.
Morales,
Yes.
Broderick,
Aye.
Budzinski,
Yes.
Lee, Lozano,
Yes.
and O'Connell.
Yes. All right, discussion.
4.5, right?
Well, I think we have to have the motion for 4.5 and then the discussion to follow.
I'll make the motion for 4.5.
Second.
Joan, call the roll, please.
Discussion.
Discussion, yes.
Can we get Jeff Heap to come up and just assure us of all that's going on with the interest rates that have been climbing and all of that stuff and the security of what we're voting on this motion?
This motion, 4.5, has to be voted on separately from the rest of the consent agenda.
Right.
Yes.
So Jeff, just because we have the 2 new board members, I pulled it for that reason.
It needed to be pulled anyway. It could not be voted on the consent agenda.
I didn't think it could be. So, because it looks like it's part of it, but I guess it is separate then though, right?
It needs to be its own roll
Right.
call vote.
Well, this would be the next thing. We don't have treasurer's report, financial report, that's all included in the consent agenda, so 4.5 is definitely next. Thank you. I'll let you explain because we have two new board members. We've had this brought up to us prior to them being brought on the board. The savings of what's going on. I think Jim might have some questions too, because it's up his alley. And I know I want to be assured that we're making the right decision now, even though we see the market has been climbing a little bit in interest rates, because I've seen the mortgage interest rates climb. So whenever I see that, it's always a warning signal that there's things going on in the market. Anything of concerns that we should be out there looking at?
I mean, the concept of this was with getting the funding from City Center, from the state of Illinois,
Correct?
in the cash, and the fact of credit hours dropping, our capital assessment fee is used to pay most of our alternate revenue bonds. Because credit hours are down, that revenue's under what the expectation is to pay bonds. Plus especially the 2013 B bonds that were issued, they have a rather, in today's market, a higher interest rate. They average a little over 5%. Today's market right now, interest rates are extremely low compared to what they have been.
True.
These bonds are not callable technically until December of 22 and like December of 23. And I think Dan Forbes is on the call too. If I'm saying anything wrong, Dan can pipe in here. And he's with our bond consultant with advisor with Spear Financial. So we started looking at.
Yes.
Sorry, Dan, go
No,
ahead.
Jeff, I just want to let you know, this is Dan. I'm on the line also.
Okay. When we started looking at modeling it to kind of potentially reduce future costs to the college, could we take some of this funding we're getting and use it to pay down our principal, our bond payments? Originally we were kind of looking at when the call dates happened in another couple of years. But then with rates dropping so much over the last year, even though we kind of we're not going to earn anything for that year to 2 years before the bonds are callable. It makes so much sense to, like what you're kind of pull the trigger now and lock in that interest savings on the rates. And yes, from when these numbers were done and when Dan prepared them, he had a little bit of cushion in the interest rates. We're probably on the most recent sale, we're probably 10, maybe 20 basis points above that.
Right.
We're close, but we're probably a little over it. Dan, am I saying that correct, or correct me if I'm wrong?
Yes, actually the 10-year treasury since the end of last year has been up 70 basis points, which you're right, we try to be very conservative. That's sort of eaten up the conservative cushion, but we're very close, and you're right, that 10 to 20 basis points at most over the savings that we had shown the board before is probably about correct.
Okay.
See, we had a little cushion when we built the numbers.
Right,
just
and
because,
that's what I thought we did, and I know that now that the market's been changing, that the cush was probably gone, so I think we need to make sure everybody is aware of it as we're taking a vote on it.
I think the original estimates, we were thinking potentially $1.7 million kind of on annual savings for
Right.
remainder. I think, Dan, would you say you were thinking it would be more than $1.6 million, or $1.65 million, I think you told me the other day?
Yeah, I reran, and there was a recent taxable Greater Rockford Airport sale, and based on that, we're $1.65 million, maybe a little better than that, maybe a smidge of a cushion. But instead of $1.7 million a year, it's $1.65 million as of today.
And Dan, we're not doing anything additional, we're just doing it to keep the same term, correct? We're not doing anything to extend.
Right. No restructuring at all of the debt. It's the application of the 24 million, as Jeff said, plus the whatever we need in additional funds bonded for, and try to also flatten out the annual savings relative to what the projections are on the revenues.
Okay.
You answered my question. I had put down her earliest call date, but you got that, so.
Okay.
Okay. And then as far as the interest rate, we're dropping about how much as far as the interest rate goes? If I saw it,
about,
You know, the original numbers, we were thinking we were going to be around 2.5%. We're probably 2.6, 2.7,
Okay, okay,
right, Dan?
okay.
That's
And-
correct. And the original issues, the 13Bs were at a 520, 12As are at 3.25.
Okay.
And
That
there's
is-
not a whole lot of outstanding on the 2012.
No, no. So I mean, and I understand that, but I wanted to make sure our new board members understood what was going on too, because I think that's critical that all of us understand what the changes in the market, because every day the market changes. We know that. I mean, some of us,
Oh, we've seen some, over the years, a few really drastic changes right when we went to issue bonds, and
right,
they've had
right.
to been put on the back burner for a while.
And if we're supporting this tonight, then tomorrow is Dan doing something in regards to this, or?
No, this is to move forward, that we'll have a ratings meeting to get our bond rating.
Okay, and that'll
then
be-
Potentially, the expectation is June.
June something?
Dan, correct,
Yeah, June
Potentially
10th
10th.
would be the.
Okay, yeah, it's
June
usually about
10th
30
would be
days.
the sale, close the end of June.
Okay, that's good. I'm good with the rest. I don't know if any of you guys,
No, the sooner the better.
I know, and
I don't
it,
anticipate June 10th staying stable, so.
yeah. Let's keep our fingers crossed. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. All right. The rest of the consent agenda.
No, we got the 8 point.
Sorry? Yes, I was just going to point out that the rest of the consent agenda is 4.6 and includes 4.6 and 4.7 on the next page. And unless we have other questions, which I don't believe we do, I'd ask for the roll call.
Holland,
Yes.
Morales,
Yes.
Roderick,
Aye.
Budzinski,
Yes.
Lee, Lozano,
Yes.
and O'Connell.
Yes. Number 5 is student development. This is no action required. 6 is new business/old business.
I have something for that. At our retreat, we talked about information on the website. And I just thought we should come back to this, even though Jim Reed's going to talk to us about at our retreat. This is what he shared with me, and I'm going to share this. While there appears to be no specific provisions in statute that speak to the issue of providing or sharing personal information, the higher standards that are demanded by the public would tend to put that kind of behavior in question under the duty of loyalty and duty of care. If in providing personal information, it leads to a situation that could compromise a trustee, some might question whether that was foreseeable. If so, such behavior could be interpreted to be a breach of the duty of loyalty. Trustees govern in a long-standing tradition that a fiduciary on behalf of a greater social purpose. The concept of fiduciary is well established in law and practice. It refers to one charged with acting beneficially on behalf of those whose welfare depends on the trust. Trustee must therefore realize that their fiduciary responsibilities go well beyond ensuring the fiscal health of the institution they serve. In fact, federal and state laws defining the standards of fiduciary responsibilities are increasingly explicit and far-reaching. Over the past few decades, ethic laws governing public officials have tightened. Most states now require board members to disclose their assets, liabilities, income, business or professional commitments, and gifts. They do so, too, to prevent obvious conflicts of interest. Although states define conflict of interest in varying ways, it is essentially means an individual serving on a board has a personal interest in or may personally benefit a decision in which he or she takes part in. It is important to recognize, however, that the board's fiduciary responsibility encompasses more than avoiding conflicts of interest. Fiduciary responsibilities rest on 4 well-established pillars. The 4 pillars are the duty of loyalty, the duty of care, the duty of obedience, the duty to act in good faith. The duty of loyalty requires board members to put interests of the trust before all others. A conflicted board member obviously may be tempted to put a personal interest first. The duty of care requires full attention to one's duty as a trustee, setting aside competing personal or professional interests insofar as possible. The duty of obedience refers to trustees' obligation to promote the mission of the organization within legal limits. Finally, the duty to act in good faith, while more encompassing and less specific than the other duties, requires board members to exercise diligence, competence, objectivity in executing the role to which they have been appointed to or elected to. This then also falls under the new ethics of trusteeship. This was submitted to Jim Reed as the reason why we should not put our personal information out on the website. And I'm bringing that because Jim asked me to share this with you. I asked him because I also had to engage in asking my HR, because I am not allowed to have my personal information at all, because I can violate the banking rules that they have in place for us. So I just want to make sure that you guys understand. I don't know if anybody else has any issues of speaking to their employment, but it's either the majority rules into what they want to do. So we do have to have a vote on it at some point in time, but it's not, some can do it, some can't. It's either all or none. And I'm just bringing that back as the attention of how it should be brought to a vote.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Trustee Broderick. This is tabled until we have our meeting.
Right, but I'm just bringing that so that we all have that read in.
We got you. Number 7, new business. First reading board policies. College expenditures, 7.1. Old business, second reading board policies, 8.1, electronic attendance at meetings. You had a question about that?
Yeah, I did want to bring that up in regards to the electronic, and let me get to it. Because I was doing too much reading on the other one. So let me get to 8.1. Okay, I'm looking at the under prerequisites, the second paragraph. In accordance with the Illinois Open Meetings Act, I have some concerns if we are looking at disaster proclamations and this seems to be conflicting, because shouldn't we have something in here that identifies, should there be a disaster proclamation in place, that this would be disregarded? Or is that covered in the disaster proclamations? Because I don't know what a disaster proclamation is identified as. It says public health. I mean, we've been having all these meetings because of the quarantine.
Typically, Trustee Broderick, for any, within the disaster proclamations, I mean, it really overrides our policies, our board policies and procedures that we have in place, with the governor mandates. Now, within this one, we could add that little caveat. I know Attorney Buck reviewed it, or Attorney Shainstead, I'm not sure which one. And Lorianne, I don't know if you have any input on that. Is that something we would add, or will we just follow the governor's mandates for those types of exceptions?
Typically, we do follow the governor's mandates because they may come up with something even down the road in the next executive order or in a year from now that would then override any statute or any provision of the Open Meetings Act. This underlying section was added, I believe maybe in October, to incorporate the disaster proclamations and the executive orders into the Open Meetings Act, but we can add more language to clarify that.
Can we do that then? Okay, because my concern then falls into the rights of remote trustee then too, because I have an attendance concern then, that if this is what it is, I think we should also bring that into that, some verbiage into that one that states that if there should be a disaster, that we would permit remote. But right now it says the rights of the remote trustee. I think this is too open, that it doesn't, it leaves it open for us to even if there's no disaster proclamation, to still be remote as far as that goes. If we have a quorum, it still allows us to do it, or it allows us not to have a quorum and still be that way. I think there needs to be some verbiage added into that portion of it too.
Take it back and I'll work with Lorianne, and then we'll bring it back for first read then.
And you see my concerns then, right? Okay. That was where I stood on that. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, 8.2, 8.3, 8.4, approval and third reading of board policies. on the consent agenda. We approve that. Approval of expedited first and final reading of board policies, 8.5, 2.01.20, pay for performance. So we have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
We already did that, though.
Mr. Chairman,
I'm
we
just
already-
making sure.
we already-
We have? Okay. All right. Number 9, reports. 9.1, JJC Foundation. Ms. Mulvey?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Good
Yes, we
evening.
can.
Good evening, trustees. The employee giving campaign raised $93,000 this year. Special thanks to Jennifer Davis, our new alumni fund and alumni manager. The majority of the funds that we raised were earmarked by the employees to fund our student emergency account. The deadline for fall scholarships was May 1st. We are now closed and grades and FAFSA scores are being uploaded into the system. We promise we will have scholarship funds on the student's account by the first drop date in July. On June 1st, we will reopen the scholarship application tool to award the $100,000 of Scrap the Gap scholarships to newly enrolled students. We will also be giving away $150,000 in completion scholarships for students that are currently attending part-time and want to attend full-time but can't afford it. The foundation is financially supporting both of these enrollment initiatives. My team will be at our drive-through graduation May 21st to give away a gift to our new alumni at JJC. We will look forward to connecting with the theme alumni in the future. This year's spring appeal is entitled "Where is Wiley Campaign." This campaign is designed to increase alumni engagement on social media while raising funds for scholarships. It's based on a flat Stanley concept, and each appeal will have a Wiley that can be brought with the alumni this summer and photographed and tagged using the hashtag "Where is Wiley." This Wiley will also be used as a ticket for our drive-through graduation on May 21st. The Awards for Innovation and Excellence Committee met and has chosen 4 grants to fund, totaling $33,473.67. The recommendation will be voted on by the full foundation board next week, and then I will be able to announce the projects that are being funded. The next foundation board meeting will be held next Wednesday, May 19th at 7:30 a.m. And if there's no questions, that's the end of my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Mulvey. 9.2, representative to the ICCTA. Trustee Broderick, please give us a succinct report.
You know it's going to be that. On May 4th, the ICCTA Board of Representatives met, and we held it virtually via Zoom. What did we vote on, or what did we talk about? And Dr. Mitchell brought this back to my attention, and this is something that we voted on to oppose, which is House Bill 3145, which provides for the election of community college trustees by sub-district and specified college districts. It has passed the House. It's now in the Senate, so we've been advised to contact our senators, so I'm going to make sure that you all are aware of it, that the ICCTA opposes it. Next, we were asked, and I said, to contact state lawmakers for their support of a 3% increase for school year 22. Funding for community colleges, an additional $50 million for the MAP Awards Monetary Award Program. We received, we've updates on pending litigation in the state area on community colleges. House Bill 375, which requires college boards to provide an adjunct professor with 30-day and 14-day advance notice for the status of classes the adjunct professor was hired to teach. House Bill 641, which requires public universities and community colleges to make feminine hygiene projects available at no cost to the students on campus and rented facilities. House Bill 722 requires community colleges to publish notice of a board vacancy at least 15 days before the remaining board member meets to fill the vacancy. House Bill 2867 sets aside 15% of Illinois Monetary Award Program grants for community college students.
Senate Bill 267 requires the Illinois Board of Higher Education to prepare a question or questions to be placed on forms used by public institutions of higher education to collect demographic data to determine the parental status or legal guardian status of enrolled students. Senate Bill 1832 allows community colleges to offer bachelor's degrees and professional educator license in early education. A proposed amendment would add a 7-year moratorium on community college baccalaureate degrees in additional fields of study. I will bring this back as to what Arizona did too, so hold on to that 1832. We discussed college promise programs that were highlighted by the First Lady, Dr. Jill Biden. She visited Sauk Valley Community College last month, and this was regarding community colleges' free tuition programs that the First Lady is in favor of. We had updates on activities of the Illinois Community College Board, the Illinois Council of Community College Presidents, the Illinois Board of Higher Education, and the Association of Community College Trustees. Rock Valley Community College has invited our ICCTA President John Looney and the Executive Director Jim Reed to attend its May 10th board meeting to discuss the benefits of rejoining. We're hoping that they do rejoin the ICCTA. The ICCTA Nominating Committee made the recommendations for the 2021 and 2022 officers. Dr. Maureen Dunn from the College of DuPage for Vice President, Maureen Broderick from JJC for Treasurer. I'm excited about that. And Bishop Wayne Dunning from Richland as Secretary. That will all be voted on the June 5th annual meeting. We were informed that within the last month, ICCTA staff has provided guidance and research on such topics as trustee elections, legislation, student trustee eligibility, the Illinois Open Meetings Act, administrative succession policies, and board retreats. We had feedback and suggestions on ICCTA's proposed 2022 strategic plan, which lays out 4 goals: information exchange, training, advocacy, and administrative efficiencies. Trustees will be asked to adopt this at the ICCTA June 5th annual meeting. The ICCTA upcoming June 4th, 5th convention in Normal. We need to know by May 12th, because we do have some people that are receiving awards, of the attendance. Please notify Joan by tomorrow, because we need to have that in at who is going to attend that convention where the awards are presented and the networking opportunities for new and returning board members. And you get to meet other people in the leadership roles of the ICCTA. We also adopted the association's back to normal fiscal year 2022 budget, which includes no dues increase. No dues increase. Dr. Mitchell, you should be excited about that. We adopted a resolution allowing eligible ICCTA employees to participate in the state's university's retirement system deferred comp plan. We adopted the ICCTA bylaws. Committee proposed amendments to add the Lyndon A. Warfel Trustee Education Award and the ICCTA President's Award to the association operation. And then the key dates that we've had, we had and I should mention the executive committee had a presentation from One Point of Care Health Insurance Consultants on a possible non-dues revenue source. It was tabled until June so that all the board representatives, if you want to attend, when you're down there for the convention, you can attend the board meeting too. May 31st is the adjournment of the Illinois General Assembly. June 3rd is the Illinois Council of Community College Presidents meeting. And Dr. Mitchell, is that virtual or is it going to be in full? Because I think it's in full. You guys are going to be there full, right? Full attendance, right?
Yes.
Okay. And then as I stated, just remember, I gotta get back to my other page. Maureen does this, she has a habit. Or nope. Okay, page 4. Hold on. I'll just read it. I have my notes on my phone too. Okay, I want to give you an update about what happened in Arizona this week. The governor, Doug Ducey, signed into law Senate Bill 1453, which will allow Arizona's community college to offer 4-year college degrees. When this new law will take place effective this fall, Arizona will then become the 24th state where community colleges can grant baccalaureate degrees with certain conditions. Under the new law, community colleges outside of the state's two biggest counties, Maricopa, which is the huge one, and Pima, will be allowed to offer unlimited numbers of baccalaureate degrees. In Maricopa and Pima counties, home to Arizona State and the University of Arizona respectively, there will be limits on how many four-year degrees can be granted and how much tuition can be charged per credit hour. And this is a significant thing because this is now the 24th. This is moving the ICCTA to want to move our state reps into pushing for us to do that, which would definitely enhance, because our tuition is cheaper and we have a lot of good success with our two-year programs, to move it into increasing enrollment. So I thought I'd mention that as part of the ICCTA report. With that, I conclude.
Thank you. Student trustee report 9.3, Mr. Lozano.
Good evening, everyone. Give me one moment here. Okay. So I just need to say good evening. This is my first student trustee report as student trustee. So yeah, let's just get started. So just to give you an outline of what I want to talk about today. First, I want to do an introduction of myself, my goals for the position, any upcoming past events, Blazer Awards, the latest Blazer article, and then a graduation celebration. So just a quick introduction. I'm 20 years old, born in Joliet. Currently going for my associate arts. Undecided, still working on it. I got some things to think about. I'm currently completing my fourth semester at JJC. And my previous campus involvement, we're looking at, I was Latinos Unidos vice president from fall 2019 to spring 2020, the president of Latinos Unidos from summer 2020 to present. Well, as of last Friday, I'm not anymore. And peer mentor from the Office of Multicultural Student Affairs, and I'm currently attend Student Government, Social Justice Club, and I attend and participate in a lot of the OSA sponsored events. So that's just a brief introduction. And my goals are to advocate for diversity, equity, inclusion, supporting new programs to increase enrollment and employability. I know we've talked quite a bit about that. Support safe return to campus, and develop open communication with my peers. And I'm very firm on that. I want to be involved as much as I can with the students, because that's what I am. I'm the student voice. So I want to be up to date with everything going on with the students. So just to give you some upcoming events, it's very fitting we have our previous student trustee here. He was very focused on mental health. So as you know, mentioned earlier, we have finals coming up. So the Office of would be TLC, Student Wellness Program, and OMSA. They have a stress relief week going on. I was able to attend today's session, Meditation 101. Very nice. But just to give you a rundown, Monday we had the crash course preparing for finals. Tuesday, May 11th, yesterday was chair yoga with Kelly with OSA. Like I said, I went to today's session, Meditation 101, Roots and Practices. I came to the meeting very chilled out, so just letting you know. And tomorrow, we're having a Zen Out self-care activities with SWP, Student Wellness Program. So I'm planning on attending that. And they also had the opportunity last week to get a stress relief care package, which if you signed up for it, was delivered actually today. And something that came in the mail was something like this, is what we call like a fidget kind of toy to relieve stress. Just kind of give you an example. I like just to show you some physical objects here, you know? So then we also had, last Wednesday, we had the Student Development Recognition event. That was a very nice event. We usually do this as a student leader, previous student leader. We usually do like mostly it's just OSA based. We'd give awards to like clubs, advisors, student leader of the year. However, this time we kind of changed it up a bit, and we had Not only OSA, we had OMSA, Career Services, Project Achieve, and Athletics. So we had awards from a bunch of different kind of departments everywhere around the college. It wasn't just OSA. So a lot of students got some recognition. We had some recognition for student workers out there. There was some tears shed, because a lot of people were moving on. So it got a little emotional, not going to lie. And overall, it was a very nice event. And there was a lot of people been using the background for their Zoom calls, as you know. That was really good. And then Sustainability Union, as you all know, Earth Month previous month. Just kind of want to give you an update on what was going on, how they did. They were able to gather 66 pounds worth of used batteries at their drop off on the batteries. I don't know where it was located, but I was informed that they gathered 66 pounds worth of used batteries. That's pretty good. And then a really cool thing I attended was the documentary series with David Attenborough. They watched Life on Our Planet, and they had a panel discussion talking about, the current climate crisis, what we can do to be more sustainable. And it was a very good discussion. They had students there who were kind of majoring in that field, and they also had biology teachers there as well. And then I'd just like to give a special shout out to Erica, who was, as you can see her emails right there, Erica Gonzalez, who's president of the State Sustainability Union, really very well organized. She was grinding this whole month trying to get this going. So I just like to give her credit where credit is due. And and as this poster is showing, two people actually won the poster competition, $250. We have Otis Seabury and Emily Power who won that. So congrats to you guys out there. And then this event happened April 21st. I wasn't able to attend, but my club was invited, my previous club, LU. And it was a very nice event. You got painting kits. You were able to come pick them up here, and then you all took them to your house, and you went online and kind of painted together. And you guys were able to kind of, chill, have a good time, de-stress, and just kind of paint. So as you can see on the photos, everyone kind of presented them to the camera to take a group screenshot. Yes, screenshots, not photos anymore. And then between April 12th and the 16th was Student Employee Appreciation Month. So that was kind of the week to kind of just appreciate all the work that the students or employees do and how big their role really is in the success of other students and the functioning of JJC in a whole. So this poster right here is from OSA, just giving a thanks to Dakota, one of the workers there. I just want to show that. So that was going on as well. And then this week, again, we have Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage events. The meditation was also part of Stress Week, the middle picture, as you can see. So that's the one I went to, also part of the Asian American Heritage Month. And then Friday, there's going to be an Asian Heritage Trivia. And Monday, I missed this one, wasn't able to go to this one, but there was going to be there was a Asian American Pacific Islander presentation, trying to just give a history of what they've kind of had to deal with in the U.S. and kind of background history. Again, I missed it, but I plan on going to the one Friday. And then I also want to give a really big shout out to the Blazer. I don't think they get enough recognition, but they're doing a lot of great work out there. And you can see a lot of the student staff won a lot of awards. You can see up there, Reporter of the Year, second place, Abby Dissett, Editorial Writer of the Year, third place, Abby Dissett, and Savannah D. Constanzo. News Story of the Year, third place, Abby Dissett, Savannah D. Constanzo, Krista Moyes. Blazer staff, honorable mention, all divisions, best media. Then I won't go over all of it, but as you can see, a lot of people won multiple awards. And this was for, like I said, if you go back here, the Illinois Community College Journalism Association Awards. And it's pretty much, usually it's two conferences. They have one in October and then one in April. And the first one, if we're, in the normal times, would be at Eastern Illinois University. And then the second one would be hosted at a community college, usually in the springtime, April. But I just like to give a big shout out to them. They work very hard, and I just don't think they get mentioned a lot. And as you can see, they're doing a great job at what they're doing. So winning all these awards. There's more words as well. And May 5th was also the last Blazer for spring 2021. And I was actually featured on it, as you can see. I was asked some pretty basic questions, kind of like my plan, my goals, kind of the similar information I gave you on the first slide, my introduction. And it was nice. And like I said, they're doing a great job. And I do want to give a shout out to Abby Dissette. She'll be leaving. She's one of the co-editors right now. She actually was the interviewer, and she was very, very helpful and very passionate about journalism. So I wish her luck on her future endeavors. Of course, graduation. I just like to say it's been a tough year for everyone, no matter where you are. But students, we've had to, we started kind of halfway in person, and then we went online. And it was, for me personally, it was tough. I'm not even going to lie. And it's still kind of tough. It's just not the way I learn. And the fact that a lot of people are still doing it, and, they're accomplishing it, and they're still with us today, out there with their classes. I just like to give you all students listening in and who will be listening to this later, good job. And especially for our graduates who were able to be successful and graduate in such hard times. I just want to give you guys all a big shout out. And just a reminder, all the trustees know we got an invite on our tables, but drive-through ceremony is going to be Friday, May 21st, 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. Virtual ceremony, 7 p.m. And yeah, so again, good job to all my fellow students out there. It was tough, but you guys did it. So congrats. That concludes my report. Is there any questions, comments, concerns?
I have a question, David.
Yeah.
Just out of curiosity, because I've seen you coach in the Blazer a couple of times. Do you ever, because your mom's an employee here, right?
Yeah.
Does that ever worry you that you're saying something or you're cautious about what you're saying because mom's an employee at all, or anything filter? I mean, I'm asking that only because I'd like to know if there's any concerns you have as being a student with a mother that's an employee here.
Well, I mean, no, not really. I just, I don't really say anything bad in the Blazer. I just.
No, I
yeah.
know that. I'm just saying, do you watch what you say? Because I'm always asking, because we always watch when we've got, if I have a spouse that I'm working for or a relative that I'm working for, I think we always just watch. I'm just asking just for your own perception of if you're concerned at all.
Well, in general, I watch what I say.
Okay.
And I mean, even if I didn't, I don't really have anything terrible to say.
You did a fine report. That's what I
thank
said.
you.
You did a fine
Okay.
report. I was just asking if you
Yeah.
had any, holdbacks or anything. So.
No, really. No, I don't really get any holdbacks. As a student leader, when I was vice president and president, I took it very seriously. I uphold. I should say this. I watched what I posted. I was nice to everyone I met, and I tried to be on my best behavior as always. And I mean, I'm always pretty much on my best behavior. I don't really have anything.
And that's good.
Like,
And that's
yeah.
good. It's just us getting to know you too.
Yeah.
Because you gave your whole explorative of what you were about, and we just like to get to know you a little bit better.
Okay. Yeah, for sure.
So
and
thank you.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, I mean, if you have any other questions regarding personal stuff, you can just ask me on the side or something. But
Who took that picture, man? You look like a model on that
I-
one.
Oh.
Was that one of the students at JJC here?
that was Hank.
Oh,
Hank Brockett.
Oh,
Yeah. So if
yeah.
you're listening, Hank, you do some very good photography.
Yeah, I know.
He did
Yeah,
good.
he
did
does.
good.
He worked on me a couple of times.
He does wonders, I will say. So if you ever, pictures. Actually, I have a point with him coming up soon. But that was Brock,
Sounds good.
Hank Brockett. So
Appreciate
Yeah.
it. Thanks
Well,
for the
I'm-
report.
I just want to say that I'm very proud of you and I'm very excited to work with you this next year. I think as a student leader, you definitely have worked your way up to this position, being involved continuously on campus and, standing up for the beliefs that you believe in and always doing it in a respectful manner. And I know your mom is probably very proud of you for that. So
Mhm.
just keep up the great work and I look forward to working with you. Thank you so much.
well, thank you, Trustee Morales.
Thank you, Trustee Lozano.
Well, thank you.
Right next, we have Buildings and Grounds Committee report.
I missed you, Dan.
No.
Not the same. What can I say? So, we approved a couple things tonight. The natural gas supply. We advertised it in March and had 15 vendors. And then, actually, no, 151 vendors. We advertised it in February and received 15 proposals, and we selected one. So I hope that helps out and saves our college a lot of money with that as well. The next bid that we approved tonight was the natural areas restoration. This was advertised to 984 vendors in March. 4 vendors attended the pre-bid meeting, and then we received 4 bids. It was originally budgeted at $65,000. The winning bid was $55,665.45. Pretty exact. So, the next one is the city center site work, which is including the parking lot rehab, and they're going to tear down, demo the old building down there, the Renaissance Center. This was budgeted at $762,650. We advertised to 949 vendors. We received 5 bids, and the winning bid was under budget, just like Buildings and Ground always does, $724,334,000. And then moving forward, a couple project updates. The city center campus we just heard about. The respiratory therapy program, it looks like it's moving along pretty smoothly. Looks like that's going to be coming along here in the next, so what is it, next couple months or so here that we'll have that done? Yes. And then Workday, Dr. Mitchell gave the final authorization to move forward with the integration. And Cecil was speaking to that earlier and says everything's going smoothly. And we're working on the third-party integration right now, Cecil, is that correct? Yeah. That's correct. Perfect. Then one other thing that that is actually great news that we found out tonight was for the Capital Development Board for the air handlers replacement projects. I guess the state is approving funding of $4.3 million for that. And this is a very costly project, and I think it's done every couple of years, Dr. Mitchell, or is it every year?
The replacement, it's ongoing. We have so
It's
many
ongoing.
air
We have so many air handler
ongoing.
units. So the state's willing to foot the bill of $4.3 million if the college pays $1.345 million. So I mean, that's a pretty good deal for that process. So, and that's all I have for the Buildings and Grounds.
Jake, by any chance, and I don't know if Dr. Mitchell has it or you're aware of it, do you guys have a 5-year plan of things that need replacement and costs in the Buildings and Ground
For
Committee?
deferred maintenance, we have deferred maintenance built into our budget annually.
So that's what's in the report, okay. And then as far as, I see that there's an upcoming bid status, and I'll ask Cecil and you, Jake, is Janice doing any more training on bid submissions? Or is she thinking of doing anything on training of bid submissions at all?
You mean for the community?
Yeah.
I'd like to know
I
that too.
believe it's ongoing, right, Cecil?
Can we have it on the website so that if businesses want to, put a bid in, I think it would be nice to know
Thank you.
the process of it. Don't you agree?
Yep.
So I mean, I'm just looking up for us to be open
I
and
don't
transparent.
see
Yeah.
how it'd hurt. I mean, more bids the better. So
No,
become
but-
more committed. I know I know.
To teach small
Yeah,
businesses how to put it.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
that's
mean,
okay.
it's
More
just
bids the better. So.
Because you never know if you have new people starting new businesses or moving into the area and they're not familiar with the process. And I
Right.
mean, we do have a lot of projects. So just to have it open so that if anybody does say anything, it's there on our website.
Absolutely.
Even a
Good.
calendar of
Good.
like upcoming dates where people are going to be able to, whether it's in person or virtual. Yeah,
Right.
thank you.
Right.
Thank you, Jake.
You're
How about the
welcome,
president's
Chairman.
report?
Honestly said he's welcome, Chairman. So thank you, Jake. So.
Okay, good evening. Again, it's my privilege to share updates of the good works going on at the college. First of all, David, excellent report. I had the opportunity to meet with him today. We went through our training. I'm very excited to work with you. Ian, well, we miss you, but I promised David, hopefully he'll have an opportunity to go to some of those conferences in person. And so he can share his photos with you, unfortunately, but David, great job this evening. And also congratulations to all the student winners of the Blazer. And I know Dr. Marsink is the advisor for the Blazer, so great work by all, so congratulations. So I'd like to begin. The Office of Human Resources is focused on engaging employees and recognized 219 employees for service anniversaries and exemplary performance during the week-long JJC Rocks celebration. They also invited all employees to meet us at the table to discuss the scaled return to on-site operations with the launch of our employee engagement forum called Table Talks. Thank you, Dr. Whitehead, for that leadership. Academic Affairs under Dr. Gray made a concerted effort to expand dual credit courses with the goal of having more high school graduates matriculate to JJC. To that end, there will be 2 new courses being offered this fall. Bio 146 at Manuka and Chem 101 at Wilmington. In addition, they have been collaborating with Plainfield to offer dual credit courses in the summer and agreed to offer Psych 101 and Finance 101. This will be the first time JJC has ever offered dual credit courses during the summer. Thank you, Dr. Gray. This goes to Jim Sir and Cecil regarding the Workday implementation. As we are aware, properly calculating payroll is of extreme importance. We are happy to report that our payroll parallel testing has now achieved 100% matching for gross payroll and 99.56 matching for net payroll. This is a great achievement for the implementation process, and kudos to all involved. Within the Workday and Mission Possible implementation, there's been a tremendous amount of work done in the account creation process and integrations. The integrations are not only between Workday and a variety of third-party systems and entities, but also between Workday and our existing colleague environment. These integrations are critical for go live, but also to maintain the integrity of our data and ongoing operation of our student system through the remaining phases of the student system project. All of this activity was critical for the go decision we made last week for our mid-June go live Workday, HCM, and Finance. I'm so excited. Diversity, equity, and inclusion, Dr. Irvin, is not a problem to solve, but an opportunity for continued improvement on the journey. We are pleased to announce the completion of our initial cultural competency workshop rollout to over 700 employees, designed to increase DEI awareness and build employee skills. Post-assessment data indicates that over 90% of workshop participants believe JJC has made progress in diversity, equity, and inclusion in the past 3 years, and data also showed an increase in employees' comfort level with addressing diversity or inclusion issues at work. The goal of the Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion and Compliance is to help facilitate change that will have a positive impact on the community, and this is monumental first step. So thank you to everyone involved. Dr. Farmer, Discover JJC was held on Saturday, April 24th, virtually. During this event, JJC offered valuable information to over 180 prospective students. For students, the event provided an understanding of higher education in the context of the COVID-19 world, while focusing on how JJC could meet their educational needs. The event offered seminars regarding the admissions process, financial aid, various academic departments, and a student panel. Also, these seminars were offered in English and in Spanish. Students reported feeling more comfortable with the college process after participating with various seminars. Admissions is finalizing the quantitative survey results from the participants, which will be shared with our key stakeholders. Overall, the event was a success. Congratulations to your division. Members of the President's Ambassador Group, Kelly Roeder-Tonelli, Veronica Mascotti, Mike Hernandez, and Kelly Roeder-Tonelli participated in a successful Children's Day event on May 1st, hosted by the Spanish Community Center and held in our main campus parking lot. This is the first event of this size that we've partnered with the Spanish Community Center on, and look forward to future opportunities. The event brought over 500 people to the campus, where we shared information about the college to parents and had Wiley the Wolf on hand to greet children. Information was provided in English and in Spanish. In front of you this evening, you have a letter to you regarding a board policy recommendation. We want to continue to go green with our board policies. So in lieu of the paper book that you have at home, We're going to move to the online, so all trustees have access to the most current policies by visiting the JJC website. Look under Administration Board of Trustees. That way you have access to current information rather than waiting for a subsequent month to receive the paper copies. So if you have any questions about that, please let me know. I know David mentioned to you graduation, one of my most favorite times of the year. So please let us know if you will be joining. We're super excited. I know there are tents available outside, depending on the weather, but let's hope for a beautiful sunny day to celebrate both our 2020 and our 2021 graduates. Before you this evening, you also have your Joliet Region Chamber of Commerce and Industry new book that just came out, and I'm very pleased to share with you that we've got a full page ad in the JJC Chamber of Commerce booklet for advertising Joliet Junior College. So again, thank you to Kelly. You have a copy of the Spring 2021 Community Impact piece, another great piece to share when you're out and about. So let us know if you need copies. And of course, the infamous Fast Fact cards that are just wonderful when you're out. So please let us know if you would like some, additional copies. And finally, last, happy birthday to Trustee Budzinski. His birthday was about a week ago, so happy birthday. And again, welcome to Joliet Junior College. And that concludes my report.
Can I say something, Dr. Mitchell, about that? So
Sure.
I know May 1st, Saturday, May 1st, we partnered with the Spanish Community Center to do the Children's Day event, the Dia del Niño. And I came to that event. I arrived at 12:50 because it was from 11 a.m. until 2, 11 to 2. So I got off work and I came and I pulled in from Holbrook Road at 12:50. And as I was pulling in, the campus police was telling us to go around to the J building. So I went around to the J building and had to get in line, thinking I'm getting in line to do the drive-through. But we were getting in line to head back out to Humboldt Road to leave because they were so full. They said that they didn't have enough campus police on staff to direct. And I was I got in line with a bunch of other people. So it was a huge event. It was, but a lot of people, including myself and my granddaughter who I had with me, we were unable to participate just because there was so much demand that we didn't have enough manpower on staff. And it was the first time they did it.
Right,
So I think that's a good problem to have, that you had so many people, 500 that actually got to go through. And there was probably another maybe 100 cars that had to leave. So
it's good to hear that we know to prepare for next year.
yeah, we just need more because I know, like
problem.
in our culture, that's a huge day, the day that you celebrate the children and you do children's events, and people really love engaging on that level. It's just that my granddaughter was disappointed and I was too that we didn't get to participate, but it's okay, but just so we know next time to have more people, more campus police helping. That's all. But it was a wonderful event.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing that.
Question I have too, not about that. We know that the immunizations for the vaccine are going huge and everything. What is JJC an outlet yet to do it? I mean, I know we're doing the campus people and the trustees, but are we doing anything outside?
Outside of Kodo Care, what they offer, we are not. Actually, we were in line with our Romeoville campus to open up as a vaccination site, but they chose the Toys R Us location over Romeoville.
They did?
That was the county. So
that's crazy. I'm sorry to say that, but with us having nurses,
Yeah.
women's or students studying to be nurses, I would think that we would want to.
Right. We were prepared for that. Now, I will tell you though, the Shield Illinois, the saliva-based testing, that's been going very well. The numbers are increasing, and we've opened that up not only beyond employees, but to students and community members as well. And the results have been, I think they're turned in by that next night or the next morning. So that's been working very well and very well received as
And then and I'll ask Dr. Gray, are we doing any COVID testing for if somebody thinks they came in contact with somebody, or do we direct them back to CVS? So is that what that was about then? Okay.
And our nursing students have been out working with, especially the Will County Health Department, giving the vaccines. I reported on it at my academic affairs town hall probably a month ago. They had given like over, I think there were 7,000 vaccinations. They've been doing it since it started.
That's good. And then as far as, okay, we're doing it that way. The nursing students, are we having any issues of getting them into the hospitals for their clinicals and that?
Actually, no, they've welcomed them back.
They have?
And, they go through the testing, whatever that facility requires, to make sure the students go through that, but they're all back to clinicals.
Well, that's good. That's good. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Gray. Thank you, Dr. Mitchell, for
You're
your
welcome.
report. And I haven't been in this job long enough to generate a report, so we're not going to have a chairman's report because we have to go to C1 and C2 for a closed session. And there will be no action after the closed session. So we have a motion. Go into
Motion.
closed session.
Second.
Joan?
Mahalik?
Yes.
Morales?
Yes.
Roderick?
Aye.
Kudzinski?
Yes.
Garcia Lee? Lozano?
Yes.
And O'Connell.
Yes.